On this episode, we take our 2-year-old grandson to his first trip to the zoo, and we spend the weekend at a local campground. Since we had our grandson all weekend, we decided to take a quick trip for the weekend to the North Carolina Zoo. It was our grandson's first time to the zoo, and here's a funny story, y'all. When we saw these statues of the elephants at the entrance, he thought he was already in the zoo. He didn't want to leave the statues. He didn't know there was much more in store for him to see. So this video was taken in the spring of 2021, and the COVID-19 restrictions were still in place. Even though most of the exhibits were on the outside, you still were required to wear a mask and socially distance. And if you didn't know, the North Carolina Zoo, located in Asheboro, North Carolina, happens to be the world's largest natural habitat zoo. That's right, I said the world's largest natural habitat zoo. It is phenomenal. You can't go in that water. No, y'all see this? I used to wonder how in the world did children end up in the cages with the animals at the zoo. But let me tell you something, if you don't watch these little boogers, it can happen to you too. And the merry-go-round was calling my grandson's name, so we had to take the ride. And when one ride wasn't enough, Pawpaw had to make it right. Yeah, he's a sucker for our kids, y'all, but don't tell him I said that. The North Carolina Zoo has two parts. It has the North American part, and here we're in the African bushlands, which happens to be my favorite part. Looking at these animals just really reminds me how awesome God really is. Hey, grandparents, you want to check your grandparent game? You want to know if you're really doing something? If at the end of the day, your grandchild is looking like this right here, your grandparent game is on point. Give yourself a pat on the back. We made reservations at Zooland Family Campground for the weekend, which was only about 15 minutes away from the zoo. Zooland is a very cute campground. It has about 75 sites. Some of them are full hookups, and then some of them are primitive camping sites. And it is exactly what it says on its website, a good place to bring kids. There is lots of stuff for them to do there. We met a lot of nice people there. But I will tell you though, there were some campers in the campground that, let's just say, they didn't really want to be bothered. And that's okay. You run into people like that at every campground. We just don't let those type of campers ruin our day, right? But that's no reflection on the staff at Zooland. I found them to be very friendly, very accommodating, and welcoming, which to me is most important.
Papa will help you. Come on.
Get down there.
Yes. See, you can do it.
Check this out, y'all. This is definitely a kid's haven. There's also putt-putt on the other side of the campground, as well as several areas where you could play cornhole. Now, I'll be honest with you, if it was just me and my husband, this is not the campground that I would choose for us. But since this weekend was all about our grandson, it was well worth it. Now, the challenge came when it was time to leave the playground to come eat dinner. Operation Zoo was a success.